Hello there and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 14th day of November 2023. First though, let's have a look at what's making headlines at this hour. In our top stories tonight, Uganda ready to host the ENAM conference due January 2024. Speaker of Parliament Anita Annette Among threatens to invoke Rule 83 on plenary sittings. And unrest and panic as the ATMIS troops plan to leave Somalia. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Kijja. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has this evening returned to Uganda after ending his two-day working visit to the United Arab Emirates, UAE. At Entebbe International Airport, the President was received by the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, the Minister for Presidency, Honorable Babide Mili Babalanda, the Head of Public Service, Ms. Lucy Nachobe, the Chief of Defense Forces, CDF General Wilson Mbasumbadi, the Police Director for Welfare, Production and Sports, Assistant Inspector General of Police Charles Birungi, and the Deputy Commissioner General of Uganda Prison Service, Mr. Samuel Akeda. While in the United Arab Emirates, President Museveni met and held discussions with his UAE counterpart and ruler of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, at the Presidential Palace in Abu Dhabi. The President also met a group of investors from several companies in the UAE. Now, Uganda has reassured the world and the third South Summits are slated for January that it is on as earlier programmed. The National Organizing Committee, led by the Secretary to Cabinet, Lucy Nachobe, also its chairperson, has held a media breakfast in Kampala where they have outlined the progress of the preparation projects so far. Take a watch.
We have an approved budget of 40 billion Uganda shillings.
The 19th non-aligned movement NAM and the 3rd South Summits will be happening in Uganda in January 2024. In that regard, a section of players have gathered in Kampala on Tuesday, 14th November 2023 to brief the media about the country's preparedness.
The pace of work at Munyonyo has not been as one would have expected, but we can confidently tell you that 85% of the works have been completed.
The media engagement has attracted officials from different government departments as each is charged with different tasks.
Let's foster a spirit of partnership, share knowledge and expertise, and ensure that the event is a success.
We are not only connecting the airport, but we are also connecting the main venue of the summit, which is Munyonyo, and upgrading it to Wi-Fi 6 as well. The designated area for the media center is also going to be connected.
The two summits will be running from 15th to 23rd January 2024.
You, the media, and us, it is our role to ensure that these summits are attended in big numbers.
The Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, Lucy Nachobe, is the chairperson of the two summits National Organizing Committee.
And accreditation, I want to assure you all that the country is secure to receive the international visitors coming in January, and everything is ready, and we are ready for our guests.
With the chairmanship of the two summits coming to Uganda, many said this is an open opportunity.
Most of the non-aligned movement countries and G77 countries are really developed countries, very developed. You can go on the website and see India, others you can name them, China. I think we can leverage this position to really get foreign direct investment.
This will provide a unique opportunity for Uganda to be at the center of global affairs, supporting and promoting interests of developing countries. The vision for Uganda's 3-year chairmanship of NAM will be a stronger and united NAM that contributes to a better world for all.
When it comes to facelifting of Kampala, relevant authorities say soon the city will match the occasion.
And we've engaged in several works that are focused on this. One is the roads refurbishment. 2 is the decongestion on the sidewalks.
Government also confirms that security is being beefed up for the 2 summits.
This week, the police will be passing out a unit that will specifically be dealing with the 2 summits.
Unlike for the past conferences where government has heavily invested in the procurement of new fleet for delegates, this time round the old fleet will be used.
We have a number of vehicles in government, and these are the ones that have been identified and mobilized to serve during the 2 summits. Therefore, the government will not be procuring any new vehicles, but will be using the available vehicles.
The government of Uganda is very optimistic that come January 2024, all would have been put in place to ensure that the summit delegates receives a befitting reception and stay here in the Pearl of Africa. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kampala.
Thanks, Onyango, for that story there. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has warned the opposition over their continued boycott of plenary sittings, or else they risk losing their constituency seats. Now, this came after the opposition said they have no plans at all of attending plenary sittings again, even as the House resumed Tuesday today. The opposition set a condition for government to issue a statement on the fate of their 18 missing members. We have more in this story.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has warned protesting opposition MPs that she will invoke Rule 83 if they miss 15 consecutive plenary sittings. According to Article 83 of the Constitution, a member of Parliament may lose his or her seat if, among others, is absent from 15 sittings without permission from the Speaker.
Because 19th is the weekend, we shall receive it on Tuesday, which will be 21st.
The Speaker, however, says that on the 21st of November 2023, government will present a statement on the outstanding demands of the opposition, therefore urged them to attend plenary.
And on that note, therefore, as the leader of this House, I'm going to invoke the rule on the 15 sittings. I am going to invoke the rule on the 15 sittings, and I want you members to come to the House. Don't miss for the 15 sittings. Don't be deceived that you should walk out. I will count 15 sittings.
However, some of the opposition MPs, like Dokolo woman MP Cecilia Ogwal, who attended this plenary sitting despite the ongoing opposition absence, says that she came to relay an important message.
Now here, I'm pleading with the government to make sure that the matter of the opposition is addressed.
According to the opposition leader in Parliament, Mathias Mpuga, they have no plans of attending plenary sittings until government issues a statement on the fate of their 18 missing members.
No such response is available. A situation we find very disturbing, that the regime up to now remains obstinate.
Shamim Naiga and Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
Mental people maybe fall under.
We'll remain in the August House momentarily, where Parliament has passed the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023, amid some members of Parliament opposing and others supporting it, saying it will save Ugandans from fuel cartels that arbitrarily influence fuel pricing. Now, the bill will enable government to ensure steady supply of petroleum products and also diversify supply routes.
Parliament has passed the Petroleum Amendment Bill 2023 without amendments. This was after the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources presented to the whole House its report on the bill. In the report, the committee chairperson Emmanuel Otara recommended that in the long term, UNOC should explore opportunities of direct engagement with refineries, which will minimize costs and increase stability of petroleum product supply into the economy.
Inability to purchase directly from the refineries leads to an extra markup on Uganda's fuel from Kenyan companies. Insecurity in supply for petroleum products and inability to directly negotiate for petroleum prices with the refiners, which inevitably contributes to high and unpredictable pump prices.
Bosiki County MP Paul Akamba presented the minority report opposing the move to create a monopoly for UNOC, saying that it is unconstitutional and prohibits fair competition. Akamba adds that past experiences of monopolies like Omeme, the Enrico Agreement, the Iron Ore Agreement have cost the country money and set a terrible precedence for monopolies. However, many of the MPs who signed the minority report, being opposition, were not around to back it.
Transport notwithstanding, UNOC does not possess the financial muscle to facilitate trading activities. It was noted that in October 31st, 2022, UNOC had a trading stock level of 6,701,604 liters of both petrol and diesel at the Jinja storage terminal.
However, Aringa South MP Adeyoni Odrea supported the bill, saying it will save Ugandans from fuel cartels that arbitrarily influence fuel prices, while others like Nandarama Fabi and Muhammad Insereko opposed it, stating that creating monopolies is not good for the economy.
We are tired of our prices being controlled by neighboring countries. We are not against other players, the private companies in this business. But UNOC is here to serve the interest of government in the oil sector.
The issue is, and what countrymen will ask us, that we've knocked ourselves before on the matter of Omeme, in the matters of Bujagali, in the matter of Dura Cement, in the matter of Peneti, in Kofi, and in the matter of Ruvowa Hospital again. And we are coming back as the same house. How shall we explain to the people that we are the very same house that comes here and legislates after agreements have been entered into by government without consulting the people?
Once signed into law, all licensed oil marketing companies shall by law be required to source their products from state-owned UNOC, save for exceptional circumstances. Shamim Naiga and Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
Now, Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, and stakeholders are reviewing the Child Protection Ordinance law that was launched in June 2022. The law criminalizes activities such as loitering, begging, vending, and selling alcohol or drugs to children.
Over 70% of street children in Kampala are from Karamojo region. Kaselengenyi Daniel, Deputy Director of Gender at KCCA, says that some members of Parliament have been implicated in trafficking children to the streets.
Of them do not transport themselves onto the streets of Kampala. There are quite a number of people who are involved in this illicit exercise, which is illegal, of course. And it is, we are categorizing it as trafficking in persons, and the laws of the land prohibit that.
At least over 3,000 children have been rescued off streets by KCCA, with the majority being females.
Currently, through those operations, we have managed to rescue more than 3,000 children off the street, and in the same spirit, we have also successfully prosecuted 41 child traffickers.
Ayokor Beatrice from the Ministry of Gender emphasizes the need for public education about the law to ensure proper enforcement.
There are going to be some challenges. One is the mindset of the people who are supposed to abide by the law. Some of them are going to see this as being restrictive to what they wanted to do by helping out or giving out handouts, but not knowing that that handout, that one coin you give to a child, is actually abusing that child.
Various stakeholders share their perspective on the law's progress.
Go on the issue of rescuing these kids. Do we know the causes why these kids leave their homes?
You keep that child for some time as investigations are going on. And who is going to do this? That's what I've said, there is a gap there, a missing gap, a very important missing gap.
Beyond addressing street children, the law prohibits employing children as domestic servants and engaging in activities hindering their education. Offenders face imprisonment of up to 6 months and a fine of 40,000. Justin Nakami in Kampala.
Roundtable discussion geared at supporting the development of the national startup policy spearheaded by the Private Sector Foundation, MasterCard Foundation and ecosystem partners has been held here in Kampala. The players are optimistic that a startup policy will address challenges such as low innovation and sustained growth and financing gaps that are obstructing the sector growth. Dedi Sigua reports.
Uganda is trailing its peers in the continent in the startup sector due to the lack of regulations and limited government support, says Eric Sempambo, the business environment specialist at the Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Because startups require a lot of venture capital support, we do not have a law that can provide confidence to a venture capital to lay capital in Uganda. Because one of the things they look at is how is government prioritizing startups. And the only way how government prioritizes startups is through policy and laws. So if a venture capitalist out there wants to look at Uganda, the first thing they do is Google on a startup policy. If you try in Uganda, you'll find a series of policies. So you're making a venture capitalist become a researcher. And yet they are not into that business.
Although some locally incorporated startups such as Safe Border, Numida, Innovex and M-Copper have made progress, they are yet to reach their full potential, experts observe.
This policy is coming to precisely address those challenges, to really open up opportunities so that we are seeing more sustained growth, we are seeing more startups, but the kind of startups that attract financing, create a lot of work opportunities, but also become those, what they're calling unicorns, become really big.
The players laud the pronouncement by President Yoweri Museveni on an extended taxation grace period for startups, but appeal for more support to tackle existing constraints affecting the ecosystem.
And I'm sure when we proceed to having a policy itself, we definitely will have maybe somewhat a framework that protects startups, that guards startups. Just recently in the National Science Week, we had a pronouncement from the president where he clearly said that why should startups pay tax in their first, 10 years?
A number of them take even up to 10 years to break even. You can find a startup that is employing 2,000 people when they have not even broken even, but they are still proving a concept. So it is important to have a good incentive regime that supports them as they move along this journey of growing enterprises from one level to the other.
Uganda's entrepreneurial culture, a rapidly growing, well-educated young workforce and tech savviness is credited for the growth of startups. Fundamentals of a startup ecosystem are resources such as skills, money, and time. In Uganda, a startup is defined as a new entity of at least 12 months old that applies innovation or technology to develop a disruptive process, product development or service that is scalable and has potential to grow and commercialize. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
Now, women and girls continue to account for the highest number of new HIV infections, according to the annual Joint AIDS Review report by Uganda AIDS Commission. Now, the report shows that the number of new infections is still high, especially among unmarried females, who contribute 35% of all HIV transmissions.
AIDS Commission has held this year's National HIV/AIDS Symposium on the theme, My Responsibility Towards Ending AIDS by 2030. It is here that the annual Joint AIDS Review report for 2023 was presented, showing overall decline in HIV incidence and prevalence among adults aged 15 to 49 years. The report shows that young women and girls are still accounting for highest number of HIV new infections at 52,000.
We want these new HIV infections to reduce to 10,000 per year, but we see that they are still in the 50,000 series. And yet we have just 2 years to the end of the period that we had targeted. So the new HIV infections are not reducing, they are stubbornly remaining high. And of course the worry is that the young people, the age group that we would want to protect are the ones who are contributing most to these new HIV infections.
So post-COVID, the reduction is very slow. I think that's where the question is. From 38,000, we jumped to 53,000. And then we are at 52,000. The reduction is very small. And like the report says, in the age group between age group of 15 to 25 to 24 years, that's where most new infections are. 36% of the new infections are coming from a population, the adolescents and young people.
Stakeholders are now calling for targeted interventions that can protect women and girls from acquiring HIV.
Young girls do not have enough female-centered tools. In this, I mean, we need to look at tools that a woman can use secretly by herself, right? When you're protecting yourself, you shouldn't base it on whether your partner is faithful, whether your partner has used a condom. You as a woman, you should be able to have that power, right? So those tools are very few. However, we have had a few that have come on the market. We've talked about the depivirine vaginal ring, we've talked about the Kabele injection, they've mentioned it, our government has mentioned how it is one of the programs that they are planning to roll out. We have oral PrEP that has been in the country for close to 7 years now, right? However, the government has not told us why we don't have that injection yet.
The report also shows that there is persistent mother-to-child HIV transmission fueled by stigma and lack of disclosure. Inadequate financing for HIV response and tracking remains one of the major challenges that affect efforts in HIV prevention. Adia Nakote, UBC.
Now, State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Nyirabashitse Sarah Mateke, has called upon the youth in the country to embrace government programs to overcome poverty. She says that government has many policies that promote the economical social welfare that would assist Ugandans earn a living.
At the national organization trade union Young Workers Camp in Mukono, where over 700 youth attended.
2021 survey, you will find that 22%, which is 9.3 million, were youth between 18 to 30, 55% persons between 14 and 64 years of age, working age. And out of the 9.3 million youth, only 37% were in employment. I believe that it's not a very good signal for us. And out of that, 41% were neither in employment, education, or in any training, according to the UBOS report 2021.
The Secretary General of NOTU, Richard Bigira, asked members of Parliament to support them on the employment bill to meet the current social and economic challenges.
We wrote to His Excellency that we were uncomfortable with some clauses, especially removing the labor officers from arbitration, and also we want a separate law on labor migration. Honorable Minister, we request that this one is also put into consideration.
Charles Bakabulindi, representing workers in Parliament, urged youth to embrace the technology to promote the business in a digital era.
Because when we are facing the problems of the workers, they cut across. They don't say you are youth or you are not person. Our problems are the same. So you have come here to get skills on how to confront those problems of the workers. And I said I'm going to summarize what my colleagues have said. The Executive Director of Federation talked a lot about what youth you are supposed to do. I just want to supplement one thing, that technology is competing with your jobs. Are you aware of that?
Honorable Alini Twira Kajara, also member of Parliament representing workers, said that among the 9 million youth in the country from the working class, only 3.5 million are employed, which makes it difficult to earn a living.
The workers are the engine of the economy, of any economy of any country. Now when we are talking of engines, these are new engines that are supposed to run our car in the next few years.
The Executive Director, Federation of Uganda Employers, Opio Douglas, called upon the youth to follow the employment guidelines as stipulated by the employers.
As a young person, you should be part of the team that is educating the rest of the workers about why we need solidarity, isn't it? Yeah, so contribute towards mobilizing the rest of the young workers.
The theme of the day was role of young workers in trade union, building for decent work for industrial growth. Sudat Kaye and Richard Chirembeka, UBC News.
Now, civil society organizations have been tasked to back government in her efforts to cushion the country and the health sector in particular against devastating effects of climate change. The Commissioner in charge of Environment Health at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Herbert Nabasa, says the health sector is fragile in the face of the non-discriminatory nature of the effects of climate change, a condition that necessitates collaborative efforts in areas of mitigation. He was addressing a health and climate change symposium ahead of the COP28 in Dubai. Dorcas Kimono reports.
Civil society organizations known for advocating for improved health services have discussed health and climate change ahead of the COP28 in Dubai starting this November. The meeting that attracted the health and environment management sectors deliberated on mitigation and adaptation as a vehicle to cushion the country against effects of climate change.
The changing climate conditions, especially the rainfall patterns, has led to a geographic range of malaria vectors expanding, putting more communities at risk. Uganda is also experiencing a heightened frequency of extreme weather events, including floods and droughts. These events not only directly impact health, but also disrupts the health infrastructure and services.
Uganda is currently undertaking a vulnerability and adaptation assessment study to guide the formulation of a health national adaptation plan. Dr. John Bosco Isunju of Makerere School of Public Health says there is a likelihood of increased disease burden due to drought and floods.
To what extent is the health workforce vulnerable to floods? And to what extent is the health workforce vulnerable to storms or heat or water level rise? So this is slightly different from the flooding. The flooding may happen over a short time. This is just a demonstration of what happened, an impact that just described in Kilembe. So this is what happened in Kilembe. The hospital was swept away.
Currently, Uganda needs up to $28.1 billion to implement adaptation, mitigation coordination, and related activities. Unfortunately, it can only afford $4.1 billion. In their health and climate change position paper ahead of the COP28, civil society organizations and private sector players want government to finance the health sector.
And so there is a financing gap of about $24 billion US for us to achieve a climate-adapted society. And therefore, this symposium will also make recommendations on how we can, as a country, access financing that will continue help in building climate adaptation for the health system, but also for the country at large.
Representing the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Herbert Nabasa, underscored the need for collaborative efforts to cushion the health sector against effects of climate change.
Many of these diseases, and even the recent outbreak of Ebola, COVID, and others, are all connected to climate change. So we are putting our heads together to look at how we can put strategies to improve the resilient health systems to be able to reduce the impact of climate change on health by working with a number of development partners and also mainstreaming these interventions in our programs as a country.
A 2021 Global Health and Climate Survey revealed that 70% of countries lack resources to address their climate and health needs. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Now, Ugandans have been cautioned to consider other road users as the country gets towards the festive season. The organizers of the Joe Walker Remembrance Road Safety Relay Walk want people to work towards safety of everybody, especially road users, as the country approaches Christmas and New Year festivities.
Loses more than 4,500 lives annually due to road crashes, translating to 13 people per day. These tragedies primarily result from reckless and careless driving and riding behavior. The Joe Walk Remembrance Road Safety Relay Walk is a platform for road traffic victims and families to remember their loved ones who have been killed or seriously injured on the road.
If you look at the biggest cause of the road crashes, it's careless driving and reckless driving. But are the drivers competent? Do we all know what we are supposed to be doing behind the wheel? So that is an area that needs to be looked into. And then to make sure that the pedestrians also, when they come on the road, are we responsible road users? Because we are the most affected category of people. When I say we, I mean the pedestrians. And in Kampala, we are more than 50% of the people who come into the city. We are walking.
The Joe Walker initiative promotes road safety and awareness through walks including the Hill to Hill Kampala, 45 kilometers held in this year, and a Too Young to Die walk from Kampala to Mbale.
If this was war and you are losing 4,534 people, you are losing. If you are losing 14 soldiers every day in a war, you are losing. So we need to look at road safety not just as accidents. No, these are something that is preventable. If we put resources where they're supposed to be, something would be different on our roads.
The Joe Walker, a dedicated advocate for road safety, will lead to the commemoration of the lives lost in road crashes and to further raise awareness about the urgent need for safer roads in Uganda.
The agony we go through as insurers to negotiate and speak to the beneficiaries of the deceased. So it is that sort of empathy that we want to extend and wish to implore the public that we ought to be responsible on the roads. It is just unfortunate and most usual that accident numbers tend to tip as we draw towards the close of the year. In the fourth quarter of every year, we have noticed an increase in number of accidents, which is most unfortunate.
This event is an alignment with the United Nations Road Safety Month and supports the UN General Assembly's goal of reducing road traffic deaths by 50% by 2030. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Meanwhile, taxi drivers have protested reduced transport fares by bus operators. Bus operators cut down transport fares to 5,000 shillings to passengers moving from Barara to Ishaka, which taxi operators claim has bogged down operations. We have more in this story.
Amidst a heavy downpour, angry tax operators demonstrated against bus companies, Global and Tausi, whom they accuse of infiltrating their business. The angry tax operators burnt tires in the busy Ishaka town, bringing traffic and business to a halt. Bus operators say they obtained their route charts from the Ministry of Works.
So the town clerk and his team, they are the one who failed to solve this problem. Because I don't think that the Ministry of Transport and Works, they can't issue the route chart of buses, like 20 buses here of Global and Tawusi 17 buses here.
Is there a law in Uganda that prohibits someone's business to grow? Is it there? If the business grows, it has to grow. We are even bringing more buses and nobody will stop them. There is no law that stops a business or an investor. By the way, this is a Ugandan investor.
Amidst heavy security presence in Ishaka town, tax operators packed their vehicles in dismay to the relevant authorities in Bushenyi, Ishaka municipality.
We have been trying to harmonize them actually with the even court, but they are not as if they are not understanding. But we as police, we are doing our role because we pushed policemen there.
If you are somebody in the district causing problems, may I classify you with ADF? Because it is the same security teams which act. So don't tempt us into now having to go into this situation.
We open and customers come, only that. Like the other businesses work and the way they operate. We open, we park, and our people come. Those who are traveling by bus, they travel. Those who want taxis, they will go. Nobody stops them.
And that is the structure which is now going on. And it is still going on. It's not yet over.
However, Bushenyi RDC at Haile Robert says they are renovating the tax park, and once it is completed, the conflict will be resolved.
Because we do not want this to become a tendency that always in our area there is chaos, because it can easily lead to problems of injuries and even death.
Yet another short break and return with the latest in business.
Jovia. Ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumuko kye ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Metu Bus Industries, Namamve, the manufacturers of buses for transporters, schools, tour operators, and special purpose vans and any customized vehicle. Metu Bus Industries offers a range of buses known for safety, comfort, and reliability. Depending on your needs, a bus can simply be a point A to point B people mover with just seats, or a special design that includes power outlet, Wi-Fi, television, refreshment center, and any other specification. buy your buses from Metu and support industrialization of Uganda. Contact us on 0788 118586 or 0782 030303. Email us metuafricabus@gmail.com. Visit our website www.metubusafrica.com.
Lagos.
abawanguzi bawadi ya Best East African Brand 2023 bakutegekedde omusomo The Great Sound Down 8 sente zimera ku miti okukubirawo kubanga 26 Novemba paka nga 2 December Petroleum Hall Rooftop ng'omusomesa waffe y'omukenkufu Nyanzi Julius ekyuma kiwagala kyuma musansi ne tekinologiya mwe muli okukola ebigimusa okuva mu pampa z'abaana n'enjazi za Vermiculite okukamula omubisi mu menvu ng'embidde ng'okozesa ekyuma okutandikawo obukolero ng'okukola sabuni wa habo n'okukola ebibiriiti kugateka ennima ey'omulembe ng'okulima ekitiko okutukwa abakadde kanodama mushroom okulima ensogasoga jangu oyiga okugatako omutindo gamba ng'okukola ebizigo n'omubisi okuva mu kigagi okukamula butto mu nsogasoga nga tiketi ya mitwalo 10 ng'ofunirako tule y'amagi ga safrani n'ekitiko kya ganodama saa 3 ez'okuba kyanga tutandika buukinga tiketi yo ng'ogigula ku mobile money ku noti 7 noti 3 152
African Airline Association, in conjunction with Uganda Airlines, presents the 55th AFRA Annual General Assembly between the 19th and 21st November 2023 at Speak Resort Hotel, Munyonyo, in the heart of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. In attendance will be 500 high-profile African and global aviation leaders, 40 airline CEOs making strides to transform aviation for development. The 55th AFRA AGA is proudly powered by
era tutukanga olw'omuntu nti nigasita ndala mukaaga itaano sita isatu ash onige yes
nga bakubuuza amachanti
nga bamubuuza amachanti code nga tumukoba atamu 7 emirundi olumalirizawo ng'atamu esente dali kuwayo kumbaga ya mwenemu saawa yeneyo nga kyabazinga amwebaza nga tweyongere kayi tujja mu kyalo ekindi
ekikoba embaga olunawa luti nga mwira
tulijja kumala kayi tweyongere emyezi mukaaga nga tukasomesa abantu momope
baba embaga ya mwenemu eriyo nga 18 kayi emyezi omukaaga gy'oli kwongeramu
ojagioidine ebyamomope abantu yembite yona bandeta momo ono bibali kumpaka nebyamomope abidi tyama kupikipiki ojo obisomesa
muleke musoniwe tyamaja
baba tuuka bulungi
simbula embalasi asumuludde
momo nyabo.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest. In business. Now, are you struggling with tax penalties and fines? You do not worry. You do not have to worry anymore because the tax waiver is here. Now, starting on the 15th to the 17th of November 2023 at the Uganda Revenue Authority headquarters, Nakawa, it's all about service with a sparkle at the Euro Service Excellence Week. Now, Euro experts will be on site to give you, among other things, hands-on assistance in applying for the waiver of interest and penalty, full support with automatic ledger reconciliation, and direction on navigating the new improved Euro website, and much more. Do not miss the engagement sessions on advancing service excellence featuring top Euro leaders on Wednesday and Thursday starting from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And this, of course, it is a unique chance to voice your suggestions on improving Euro's services, communication methods, and operations. Start the new year on a new slate, Business Kunyumire, developing Uganda together, Uganda Revenue Authority. Has been urged to focus on both the girl and boy child. The Rotary District Governor 9213 Edward Kakembo said this during the launch of BCUP, that is the Boy Child Uplifting Program campaign and skilling pupils at Perfect Primary School in Kulambiro.
Erisangibwe Kulambiro ku nkingizi z'ekibuga Kampala wabula embeera mwe eriri yennyamiza kubanga ebizimbe
We do apologize for the mix-up of the languages in that story there. Moving on, the Chief Executive Officer, Diamond Trust Bank, Varghese Thambi, has said the digitalization challenges in banking institutions can be mitigated by the vigilance of customers. He says the digitalization enables bank customers enjoy a wide range of services, including tapping convenience and instant delivery, although there are security concerns of fraud and swindlers. Varghese was unveiling the expansion of Diamond Trust Bank Kijja branch in Jinja City.
Largest number of organic producers in the world, which calls for full support for
easily. If one enter here for any transactions, they can go after the work maximum within 10 minutes. We have added the teller counters, we have the digital channels. Nowadays, most of your transactions can be handled outside the banking hall. Account to account transfer, you send a RTGS, you send a TT, everything is possible. Many of the frauds what we see in the digital is mainly because of some carelessness by the customer, including writing down the password in a piece of paper and putting the phone and the paper in the pocket. So somebody, if they pick it, they get the password, they may do it. ATM also. ATM pin, if it is written on the back of the card, what we can expect. These are some of the reasons for frauds. We should not share the password. We should not share the ATM pin. And with the mobile, need not be an Android phone or iPhone.
Now, the Commissioner Crop Production at the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Alex Rwakuba, has said that government is yet to review the organic policy to boost organic farming in the country. Now, this was during the Farmer Family Learning Group engagement organized by organic farmers in Kampala.
Uganda has the second largest number of organic producers in the world, which calls for full support for government to increase its productivity. A commissioner at Crop Production Department, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Alex Rwakuba, says there is need for government to promote organic culture policy to hit the SDGs target of hunger eradication.
Government
formulated the National Organic Agriculture Policy as an enabling environment. Government has also gone ahead to formulate an implementation strategy for that policy. Government has also started working on a bill to operationalize that policy.
So if the policy is reviewed, this will improve on government exportation in terms of organic agricultural exports.
Business of organics has increased in Uganda. We now have over 50 exporting countries of organic food, fruits, and vegetables. Even coffee, we have organic coffee, and this one fetches some good money.
More farmer organizations will adopt the farmer family learning group approach to improve their advisory systems so that they can have a direct practical impact on the farmer families than actually providing theoretical advice that does not translate into real adoption on the farm.
Organic farmers training in organic farming at household levels say organic produces are healthier and they do eradicate hunger in the community.
Agroecology, the emphasis is more also on reducing the food print to reduce emissions that are due to transportation of food. So emphasis is put onto consumption of safe food locally.
Healthy, and even our children are using organic food, and if you go there and you see our children are really healthy, and that's why even we are empowering other peoples and other families to use organic foods.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Mary Namukose, UBC News.
Sports news now, and the under-18 national team is in camp at Fufa Technical Center in Njero in preparation for the upcoming Sekafa Under-18 Boys Championship, scheduled to take place from the 25th of November to the 9th of December 2023 in Kenya. Now, the team, expected to fly out next week, has mostly locally based players featuring in the Junior League. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania and Rwanda have confirmed to compete at the tournament. CAF encouraged junior tournaments to help nurture talent.
23, 32 players were summoned to join camp. However, we've received 22 players so far who have joined camp. However, other players will be joining because they've been engaged. Some are still doing their exams, UCE. They will be finalizing on Monday and they will be joining us immediately when they are done. We also have some players who are playing outside the country. Players like Dembe John Paul, who is in Sweden, and Mao Oscar, who is in Italy, will be joining us. But tournament is aimed at preparing the under-20 national team that will play in the AFCON qualifiers next year. We've received a good turn-up and we believe that the team will prepare well as we head to the Sekafa Under-18 Championship that will be held in Kenya in November, starting from 25th of November up to the 9th of December 2023.
Masaza Cup now, and the Bulemezi Football Club financer, who is also a renowned philanthropist, Frank Mutalaga, has appealed to stakeholders to rally behind the Masaza Cup Uganda football tournament. Mutalaga believes that history has proved that this tournament produces talent and can only get better. We have more in this story.
Almost 3 weeks after winning its third Masaza Cup Uganda Football Championship, the mood in Bulemezi County remains jovial. This has been evident during the team's latest reception party hosted at Kasanat Sports Ground in Luwero Town Council. The team's financer, Frank Mutalaga, acknowledges the role of the Masaza, to Uganda's football and advises the current crop to benefit from it as a conveyor belt.
Normally, I always call upon all football lovers, all football players, all those who want to be football players, who want to be professionals, always to participate in this Masaza, the one I would refer as county tournament, because it will build them until when they reach where they want to be.
Mutalaga notes all that provided bonuses for each stage, a factor that played a key role in motivating the players to achieve success.
Something like 3 things. Number 1 was to motivate the players. First of all, they had lost hope. Each and every player had gone home. Even the managers had gone home. But for me, I told them, no, where you have reached to the stage of semi-finals, semi-quarter-finals, where I think that's when you have reached the stage where you are going to be seen by many scouts of these big clubs. So I'm then telling them, you people, let's try to concentrate. Let's look at getting the medal. Let's look at that final stage where you are going to be spotted by these big clubs. So first of all, I had to motivate them by telling them so. Secondly, I had to double their allowances. Where they were getting 100,000 as an allowance. I had to double it to 200,000.
Bulemezi County Chief Ronald Mulondo hailed the team for its achievements and revealed plans for the next year with emphasis on title defense. Under the stewardship of veteran coach Ibrahim Kira, Bulemezi bet Gomba 1-0 at Wankulukuku Stadium last month. The tournament has provided the Uganda Cranes many players, but the latest, Alan Wairot, straight from Gomba to the Cranes for the World Cup qualifier, is memento.
And that story brings us to the end of the second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 14th day of November 2023. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Kijja wishing you a blessed night. But I'll leave you with the weather forecast for tomorrow with Ainebiona Jasper.
Update from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. This is Jasper Ainebiona. Today by morning, several parts of the country had cloudy conditions with isolated thunder showers across several parts. Today's satellite image, it shows that the rain belt is diffuse over our country, and this is going to bring wet activities across several parts of the country tomorrow. So let's have a look at what is going to happen for tomorrow. We are forecasting light rains across Kampala and Masaka, while in Kasongola, pretty sunny conditions. When we go to the eastern parts of the country, light rains across Jinja and Toro, while in Salt is sunny intervals. To the western parts of the country, light rains are expected over several districts, apart from Masindi, which is going to be pretty sunny. To the northern parts of the country, we are forecasting sunny intervals that are going to dominate the entire region. And when we go on to the central parts of the country in the afternoon, we are forecasting light thunder rains across several districts with a high of 26 degrees Celsius across Masaka, and in Kampala 26 also degrees Celsius. Nakasongola 28. Eastern parts of the country, we are forecasting light thunder rains across Jinja with a high of 28 degrees Celsius, and in Toro also 28, and in Salty 29 degrees Celsius. Western parts of the country in the afternoon, we are forecasting light thunder rains across several districts with a high of 23 degrees Celsius around Kabale, and in Barre it will be 25 degrees Celsius, while Kasese it will be 29. Northern parts of the country, we are forecasting light rains across several districts with a high of 29 degrees Celsius, and the lowest it will be over Lila with a high of 29 degrees Celsius. To the world cities, we are forecasting pretty sunny conditions across Cairo with a high of 27 degrees Celsius, and in Dubai it is pretty sunny with a high of 34 degrees Celsius. Thank you so much for watching the weather forecast. You can contact our website anytime you are free. Good evening.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In the past, my people could predict the weather, but now the rules of nature have been rewritten. The commitment of taking care of your people and planet presents a challenge. A challenge that leads you into the unknown. Exploring untouched paradises, seemingly from another world. All of them connected by the water that flows downstream from the peak of the kingdom.
Hello!
And I can feel deeply how this mountain is suffering. A place where the purity of the air drives you to keep climbing upward. A treasure that we must all protect before it's lost forever.
Bule Foundation's 2023 Gala Dinner with the theme Feeding the Hungry and Deprived Children, happening on the 25th of November 2023 at Sheraton Hotel. Tickets are 100K for single and 1 million for a table. You can also come with things to donate like clothes, shoes, and others. For more info, please contact 0774 508202 or 0753 055437 or 0704 499543 and Momo Pay 198377.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
One would wonder, why are we still celebrating the World Polio Day? What is so important to Rotary that we would have a special day set for polio? Rotary has set out to eradicate and totally remove polio on the face of the world. But we still have 3 countries that are still stuck with this big, huge disease that is killing off so many children and human beings. That is in northern Nigeria, in Pakistan, and Afghanistan. But have you ever wondered what those three countries have in common? The radicalization of medicine has been taken apart. And I think many times we need to believe that healing comes from vaccines and God works in the hands of the doctors. So our religion might actually be inclined to not allowing us to take medication, but God works in the hands of the doctors. And these states must know this. Welcome to the Rotary Moment.
The west down, the west people. 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you get 35 houses, the only one house you go stay at. Yeah, like the swing, take it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I'm talking. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sideways, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Swing side, let's go. 1, let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hello, I'm Rotarian Agatha Zake from the Rotary Club of Acacia Sunset. We are here to fight polio, create awareness, and have it eradicated from the face of the world. We are hyped, we are hyper, and we are worked up to fight. Remember, we are this close to fighting polio from the face of the world. Join us.
Let's go. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go. Up, give me high knees. Let's go. Up, up. Give me high knees. Let's go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We are this close to eliminating polio. Rotary Uganda and Rotary International have taken on polio to make sure we eradicate around all over the world. We are here at Kitanti Primary School to celebrate the World Polio Day, and we're going to march, show activities to highlight the need to eradicate polio, and I call upon everybody to join us in the fight against polio. I'm Geoffrey Chitakule from the Rotary Club of Kampala South. I'm the District Governor nominee. I'll be District Governor for District 9213 in 2025-2026.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. Let's go. 1. Don't give up. Keep going. 2, 3. On your toes. Don't give up. Keep going. Arms are working. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go. Side and side. Side touches. Tap, tap, tap. Let's go.
Club of Sunday. We are here for the World Polio Day, and we are here to eradicate polio. We are this close to ending polio. Come all, let's celebrate this together. Yay!
Push and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hands up. When you go still, don't give up, don't lose the breath. 2. Let's go. Aya. Let's go. Yamachi.